Hey there everybody, WolfTamerPlayz here, and welcome back to another Sonic Roboblast 2 video, where today I have a challenge. I have 6 Sonic mods that will be racing against each other. But these won't just be casual playthroughs of the level. Instead, each of these characters use their special abilities to make it through the level faster. Each character gets 3 runs to make it to the end. Deaths don't count. The goal is to be the fastest of the 3 tries. Once I do that with all the characters, then I compile them all at the end and race them all against each other, and find out, at least to my ability, which Sonic beats New Angel Island fastest. So, let's look at our contestants. First up, we have OVA Sonic. The primary move of his that I used was the Super Spin, which is like the bullet dash of Junio, which holds you in air for a bit and then launches you forward. Next up, we have CD Sonic. And this time, I was able to get all of the emeralds, which gave him a major advantage, especially in boosting forward. Third up, Juno Sonic. His main 2 moves are the very powerful peel out and his bullet dash, which works like a spin dash in midair that can launch you far forward if you charge it long enough. Next up, Modern Sonic. Very easy to pick up, requires rings to boost, he can wall jump, he can slide, and he can double jump. And next up, Bandages, or as I like to call him, Boom Sonic. He has a very powerful spin dash that can be charged in about a second. The Enter Beam lets him shoot off of badniks quickly and gain a ton of momentum. He can also double jump. And last, but certainly not least, we have Advanced Sonic. He has a great Mach speed, he can air dash, he can do tricks like in the advanced games, and he even has a one-time use bounce attack. So, without further ado, let's get to the race. Alright, so as usual, we go over the course first, just to make sure you guys know what we are going to be doing. Alright, so we're going to be using those boosters at first. Rolling over the water is a bit more useful. Go up to the right, kind of jump onto or over the bridge, whatever each character is kind of capable of. And air dashing here constantly. Stepping on this log is very useful. Go onto that platform, step there, ramp off of there. And in some runs I did a little bit differently here, but here I went for kind of more of a normal route. I did unfortunately fall there, but it's all good because I don't do that in any of my other runs. This is just my test run. And on this one I took the lower path. I would ideally be taking the higher one, but if on any of these runs I am not able to take the higher path, then I do default to the lower path. Gotta jump up these platforms and then go over here. Just kind of go on here. And in some cases as well, you can run up the water, but unfortunately, base Sonic, he cannot do that. And trying to take the upper route whenever possible. And then what you can do is you can go down here. And the cool thing is about the water, it actually speeds you up quite a lot if you roll on it. You just gotta not hit anything or get stuck. Rolling through these guys. Use the booster since he's not the fastest, but generally I try to avoid the booster. And oh dang, I did fall there unfortunately. But in an ideal run, you would go this way, and then you'd make it to the end. And then I guess approximately 2 minutes if you're using base Sonic. So now we can actually get into the proper part of the race. Alright, so here we are with OVA Sonic rolling on the booster because I have found that is a bit faster if you do it that way. Also, I am mostly sure I had extra spice on. You may have noticed that I used a super spin there. It can also be used as an air dash of sorts if you don't charge it, which is pretty useful. And also, OVA can peel out. I forget, I don't think I mentioned that in the intro, but he can peel out. But it's not too useful for this run, so I don't really think that that's too necessary here. And some of you guys who are way more familiar with OVA than I am probably would be thinking, wait a minute, why am I not wall running? So, the thing is, it's kind of, it didn't really cross my mind, I will say. So OVA is going to be pretty much just a super spin exclusive, but I don't think he was too bad, honestly, because I think that would be the biggest part for a wall run if I had just missed that jump. But I don't really think that that was too much of a problem. I was able to go back onto the top route there and go over here, roll down. Did unfortunately get stuck on that rock, but there are a couple more runs to redeem OVA. Going very fast here. I did actually use the booster that time. I thought it would help me maintain my speed, but it didn't. It just kind of had a set speed. But anyways, there we are. First run, approximately 120. So that's about 40 seconds off. Maybe a bit more like 35 or 30. 35 or 30 seconds off of the main base Sonic time. But yeah, here we are. Run 2. Let's go ins. Let's see how that is. I just gotta say, I love the OVA Sonic movie. I feel like it is massively underrated. It is for free on YouTube. You can watch it wherever. And I don't know. It's just massively underrated. I really enjoy Martin Burke as Sonic. I think he works really well. Bit of Sonic running on water there, by the way. And I chose that ramp that time because I thought that that might work pretty well. And then I actually went through here. The other thing, you know what? I think that would actually be a bit faster. So I'm trying to find some ways to get through that might like be a bit better. I was kind of hoping I'd charge up. I forget if I did or not. I was able to charge all the way up there, but I don't think I was going fast enough though to run up the water there, because I think unfortunately OVA kind of catches on that, and that's kind of some of the issues with some of the characters on that one kind of waterfall thing, because it's not just still water, it's water that's actually pushing against you, and I think about half of the characters can actually take that, but other ones can't. I don't think OVA can quite take that. But I jumped over the rocks there, rolling, gaining insane amounts of speed, almost bounced off of him. At that case, I was so slow that I had to use the booster, and that actually gained me some speed there. But I tried to stay kind of a bit more on the inside. Might have worked, might not have, who knows. But there we are, at the finish. I think slightly slower than the first time. But yeah, let's go on to the third and final OVA run. But yeah, let's go into the third and final OVA run. And for this one, also, by the way, I like doing a little, you know, going to left and right at the beginning, because same speed, just make it a little bit more energy, using the super spin there. And I think this is absolutely my best start. I don't even need that tree there. I can just go over here. Crazy stuff. Might be able to ramp off that. I did, in fact, ramp off of that. Use the center point again. Going through there, dang. Okay, yeah, this run, yeah, this run is a bit better than I remember. I'm not even gonna lie, except for that. But I think that that's a pretty quick fix. But yeah, so for this, just the super spin is just really useful to me. I think with OVA Sonic's wall run, I think I probably would have used it, except it's kind of, when you're blasting through a level, it's kind of hard to use it in some specific points, but maybe in future levels. I want to use it in future levels though, because the wall run is just such a cool ability. Other characters sort of have it. Sonic has it vertically. But anyways, here we are at the end. And there I actually didn't use the booster, which as you can see, did wonderful things for my speed and secured me first place of the OVA Sonic. So this is by far the best of the OVA runs. But yeah, let's go on to CD. So the first thing I gotta say about CD, no, I'll say that in a bit. So first thing is, I was actually playing this on controller. So I've been doing my speed runs. on controller. And by the way, I used the blue emerald there, homing attack those 10 ring monitors, because that is very, very useful to be doing that. But the thing is though, I was actually playing this on a PS5 controller, and I Bluetooth connected, used my future there. And the reason for this is, I would much rather hit a bunch of buttons on a controller than I would constantly mash buttons on a keyboard, because it's a lot more cruel for speedrunning. I think for some characters like SMS, I have recently discovered that it is way better to use a keyboard, and I might change the keyboard speedrunning in a little bit. But as of right now, there were so many emeralds that I had to change a bunch of keybinds. Also, CD Sonic can actually do that, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I had to do a bunch of keybinds for the different emeralds. And the thing as well, so I was under the impression that you needed to collect all of the emeralds or get them cheated in order to obtain all the emeralds in literally any level. But the thing is though, all you gotta do, you gotta just go into time attack, and that's it. You just gotta go into the record stuff, and that's it. But you can see that CD's doing his peel out. Also, by the way, you literally cannot peel out. Also use the future thing there, but I shot past the goalpost again. Oh dang. Oh dang. Yeah, truly CD and I getting along as usual. But yeah, it's yeah, you need to do record attack, and then you'll automatically have all the emeralds and for CD, and that's just really nice. But anyways, run 2, and I almost missed those rings there. That would not have been great. And I could have tried jumping over that, but I think I would have lost speed if I did. Use that log there. Use the little spring. Future is very useful. I think generally about like 30 rings, 30 or 40 rings is useful. Used another there. Usually I would not have to do that. I'm not about to erase my other rings here. But yeah, I did that just to save a bit of time, because I think this would have probably been my worst time if it wasn't for that. And I do have my peel out, so I can actually go up the water. Almost fell there as well. That would not have been great. And I can use future. I didn't use it there. Okay, I think I'm going to probably use that at the end. Right, okay, then I can roll here. Oh yeah. So yeah, rolling here. I think that those, it can make literally any character extremely fast. I don't know if that's specifically because of Extra Spice or not. Because for those who don't know, Extra Spice is a physics mod. I've had it recommended to me before. I think I've had a few physics mods recommended to me, and that is the only one I have not tried. I've done X Momentum and Boost Momentum and Extra Spice. I like it a lot. I don't know if how I'd rank them. Might make a video on that sometime. Anyways, there is the second run of CD, and I'd say that was pretty good. I'd say that's a pretty good run. But yeah, the only 2 emeralds I really need to use are the blue emeralds, the dark blue one, which lets you homing attack, and then the white one, which is the future emerald. By the way, some people might be noticing that at the beginning, on that platform to the right that you go up to, there's a trail of rings. I'd be thinking, Wolf, couldn't you lightspeed dash with the Scion Emerald to that? For some reason you can't. I tried it with CD, and later I tried it with, well, I mean, not on these runs, but on runs that didn't make it into the video. I tried that out, but you can't actually lightspeed dash on those. They're just barely too far apart, which is a bit frustrating, but it's fine. It's, you know, such is the speedrunning way. Just get used to inconvenience. But we were able to get the top route here, and yeah, pretty much the same route. Unfortunately not in the faster speed this time. That's not great. And yeah, this is probably going to be my slowest run, because I don't think I did that in my first 2, but future there. This time I used it. Saved just a bit of time. Boost off of here, and the water might be saving. The water might save, because the thing is, in the water, it's pushing down instead of like it's been pushing against you the whole time, and at the end it actually helps you. So going up at the end, and yep, going over here, and then I used future at the end. And I did make it first try that time though, so that probably would have helped a lot. But yeah, that does it for CD Sonic, and next up is Junio. Okay, so the thing with Junio is, it's kind of hard to tell if you should use his peel out at the beginning, or if you should just let the booster do the work. For this run, I decided I would probably try just to start out with a peel out. It would be more consistent speed, and I don't think that the booster would have gone that high in speed. But yeah, we're jumping over here. Didn't even need the bullet dash. I did accidentally hit that wall there, and did save it with a bullet dash a bit. And here, I believe I ramped off here, and that helped quite a lot. I think I even bounced, yeah, I even bounced off of him. Yeah, that was really fun to do. But yeah, able to do that. The cool thing about Junio is you don't really have to worry about being on a bottom route at all, because you can just boost up to the top route. It's like 2 to 3 times the height of your usual jump. And yeah, that just really helps a lot. I apparently barely had enough speed to make it up there. Yeah, bullet dash up here. And I did go to the top route. Use those boosters there. And just kind of flying here and avoiding the rocks. Rolling again. Now Junio, I have a lot more faith he can maintain his speed, because Junio is kind of made just to be insanely fast. You can see he's taken this hill much better than everyone else. And there we go. Flying right into the sign. And that's a good thing. Sounds like a bad thing, but no, he just flew right into the sign. It was a good thing. But on to round 2. Okay, starting off with the peel out again, and pretty, good beginning. You can just kind of look at the scenery. I love this level, by the way, just how you kind of go into the island. You can look at it from the outside. Cutting corners at the beginning, and didn't even use the tree that time. Ran off there, didn't even use that either. Gonna ramp off of here, and that gave insane height. I was even able... Oh, wow, yeah, I went past the logs, too. Barely missed that. But I was able to save it, because the bullet dash is pretty cool. I love how there are actually rings on the water as well, like they mean you to run on the water. Almost made it, but I didn't quite. Alright, so this is a bit of a slower one. But it might balance out, though. I think it'll balance out, because that beginning... I think that beginning was just... so much better than any other run I've done, that I think that would have probably helped a ton. Starting the water sooner, though, I think probably helped this run be way better. And I helped maintain that speed a lot better as well. Going up the hill, lost some speed because this is a pretty big hill. Going over here, that was pretty fast. I'm not going to lie. I want to say that's probably about the fastest run I've had this time. But we'll check the third round. Alright, third round. Let's see it. Starting off with a peel out again, because that does work quite well. And they get a bit slower there because I was going to bullet dash and I just decided that was a terrible idea. But this looks essentially the same as the other, except I took a bit of a different way there. Ran off the water. So yeah, this is a very non-traditional route I'm taking, but I feel like, about the same as last time, but I feel like it is a pretty good route if I say so myself. And it's one that is not very repetitive, or not very, you can't really repeat it with other characters, but with Junio, and dang, that's a lot of speed. I even got stuck. That's how fast I was going. But it just proves that Junio's moveset can be very, very useful, except for that. But that was more like the water's fault. Or my fault. Probably one of them. Maybe both. But yeah, roll through them. Ah, dang. Yeah, I lost my speed there. So, unfortunately, this run doesn't look like it's as fast as the last one. So I think the second one actually did end up being the fastest. But anyways, that's the last Junio run. Let's go on to Modern Sonic. Alright, we got Modern Sonic boosting. Cool thing with him is he can grab more than one row of rings. And he also can maintain his top speed without having to consistently boost. He has to grab rings as well, but I think he can do it a bit faster than Junio did. Or not Junio, CD I mean. Able to boost here. Don't need the wall jump there. Yeah, boosting off that part. And I think I slid down this. Yeah, I did. Great speed there. Got stopped by that tree stump, but you know what? I think things are going okay. You can do some tricks off here as well. Trick system isn't as useful as advances, but I think it is pretty useful for that extra jump. And able to wall jump up here. Wall jumping. I love wall jumping. Anyone who's seen this channel for a while knows just how much I love wall jumping, and dang, that hedgehog is moving. And he's going even faster. But unfortunately, it comes to an end. Because alas, Modern Sonic has a speed cap of sorts. But that was very fun. And definitely would have helped this run. I was hoping I would have enough boost to like magnet more rings in. Because that part of the level seems very modern friendly. But I was not able to do that in this run. But 120 is pretty fast, I'd say. Especially for my first run for Modern Sonic. But let's go into the second run, though. I grabbed way more rings that time, and I also boosted less on the water part, so I feel like that would have been a bit better. But I wanted to make sure that I was, just grabbing way more rings this time, because I think that's something that was a problem last time. Because the less rings you have, the less boosts you're going to be able to get in the end game, and then it just becomes way harder to do, like, pretty much anything, except for, like, wall jump. But in a speed run, wall jumping can kind of slow you down, so you want to make sure to just boost as much as possible. That was pretty cool. Didn't really help me, but hey. Gotta love this Sonic. Yeah, jumping here. Have to wall jump again. Unfortunately, though, it's not as good of a wall jump as last time. But I tried to save that by getting on the top route, which I do think helped me, especially with how many rings are up there. So yeah, slide down here. Sliding is pretty much like hitting the spin button and just rolling. And that was a way better speed up there, but I still don't think that it's quite as good of a time. But I did get a whole bunch of rings that time, and I used the booster in true Sonic Forces style, and I made it to the end at 124. But now we got the final run. Okay, so for the third run, it started off boosting, which I think is actually pretty cool, because it kind of reminds me of Sonic Rush's kind of style of starting off a level running, or Sonic Colors DS, those kind of things. I think Rush Adventure did it as well, but anyways, continuing, hit that badnik into a tree with the boost. Very fun stuff. I always love doing stuff like that. Getting way more rings, and a bit slower here, but I do believe I did ramp off of here, and that gave me a lot of height, and that really helped a lot. And yeah, I was able just to boost off of here. Yeah, pretty standard modern Sonic stuff. I forget if I tried boosting up. I think modern Sonic is unfortunately one of the ones who can't really take that uphill water all that well, but I think I tried getting the upper route again, and I did actually get it. And now I am heading down towards the end. I thought I'd stomp just so that I could get to the water sooner and see if I could go. I wish I would have boosted there, so I would have kept my speed a bit more, but you know what, it's fine, because I think that this actually is going to be the fastest time, because I think it was 120 for my first run. I went Sonic Forces style again, used the booster, and made it just a second, just under 2 seconds faster than my first Sonic run for modern Sonic. So that's pretty cool. Let's go on to Boom Sonic, or Bandages as he's officially named. Okay, so I know what you guys are thinking, and I actually saw this comment on one of my previous videos, which I actually found pretty funny. And also, by the way, Boom Sonic, you kind of got to jump out of the ball in that beginning section, or else he slows down like crazy. Also, his double jump is useful, but, you know, it can slow you down a whole lot, as you can see there. But yeah, I almost lost the run, but you can also grab off of the ground too. But anyways, and yes, that's actually very useful. I love his boom whip. But I saw a comment on one of my previous videos, and it was saying it's like that one meme, seeing the werehog there, and it's just kind of like, you have all these extremely fast vehicles, and then pretty much you see this really slow vehicle next to all these really fast vehicles, and they were just saying it's like that with the werehog, which I found really funny. So this is kind of another one of those situations where I feel like Boom Sonic might do a bit better in this environment than some other levels I've tried. I've had a few different levels I've tried him out in. Also, by the way, instant spin dash. I want to call it the spin charge, but like I feel like that's a name that's already been taken somewhere. I just don't remember where. But you can also spam dash it, which is pretty cool. But yeah. Anyways, I think is pretty good. Like, he's probably the hardest character to master on this list if I had to speak from my own ability, but you know what? It's pretty fun just to watch him just fling. And as opposed to characters like Tangle, who kind of go in more of a downward swinging motion, he goes in an upward swinging motion, so he kind of has a vertical arc to him, which I think is a bit more fun to control and a bit easier to control. So yeah, and there we are. And except for there, I think sometimes he does do downward swing. But yeah, that was kind of not a great end, but yeah, it's alright for the first run. But let's go ahead and see how the second run did. Yeah, again, using the booster beginning, you gotta jump out of the run because there's this really weird thing, because I think it starts out with the water like normal, but at the end near the shore, the water kind of sinks, so then you can lose your speed falling in, which is not very convenient when you're trying to speed run. So that took me a good chunk of time for each character to, you know, find different ways to make it over. Because, like, the ones that don't consistently run on water, I mean. Because the ones that run on water, they're cool. Anyways, so close to bouncing off of him, but I was able to swing off of him, and that was pretty fun to do, if not too helpful to the run. I love his instant spin dash. It really reminds me of Sonic Adventure. That was something that really helped out. That guy just decided he was just gonna come and attack me. So that was pretty alarming. But yeah, almost died here. But that spring saved me, or not really died, but in speedrun terms died, I guess. But yeah, going here, I think I used to, or no, I didn't use to swing there. I just went with the lower route because I felt like that might be a bit better in this case, because I might lose a good chunk of time trying to go back to the top route, because Boom Sonic is not quite as good as the other Sonics. But that was an insane burst of speed though. Fastest I've ever seen him go. But then back to reality. He's kind of slower again, but this is pretty fast for Boom Sonic though, I will say. And yeah, finishing off with the power spin dash, as I like to call it. I forgot specifically what it is. But yeah. And also I'm pretty sure that spin charge might actually be from Sonic Heroes, but I don't quite remember. But anyways, alright, so we're rolling at the beginning, trying to make sure not to get stuck there. I kind of got stuck there. Not too badly though. Swinging over there, that really helped the momentum. Was able to jump over that with single jump. Because the second jump officially, or the double jump officially, is to kind of correct minor platforming mistakes. And I guess that's why it's way slower here. But you know what? It's helped a couple of times already, so I am cool with that. Yeah, rolling down here and going on the ramp to the right. Because the cool thing about the ramp is it provides way easier access to the top route for basically every single character. Especially the ones that can't just fly over everything, like Junio or something. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, jumping up. Yeah, pretty normal route. And each time I want to, once I bounce off of those first springs, not the ones I just bounced off of, but every time I keep wanting to like bounce to the right side. But unfortunately, it's just not enough space. I believe I have tried it, but rolling down here helps a ton. I don't know why, but it's just kind of nice to see Boom Sonic rolling and not just sliding. It's pretty cool. But yeah, this run, it was... Oh yeah, bounced off of him. That was actually kind of nice. Even though I don't think this is... Yeah, this is definitely not going to be Boom's best run, but it's, at the same time, kind of nice. But I decided I would go Forces mode on this. And just give in to the spring. And there we go. 150. Definitely not my best time. But let's go on to the final one, which is going to be pretty much the polar opposite. Advanced Sonic. Okay, so those of you guys who have seen my previous SRB2 videos know that I love this guy. His Mach speed is just so good. His air dash is great. I love his trick system. I have a Game Boy Advance and I just love the Sonic Advance games, and they're just so amazing. And I don't know. This guy is definitely one of my favorites to play as. I was even able to bounce off of that one bad Nick. But and I did bump into that, which wasn't great. But I think just about every Advance run is really hard to beat, because Advanced Sonic is just so insanely fast. And I think most every person that I've seen play as him agree with that. Also kind of funny how he was just kind of like not actually running up that, but the waterfall. But everyone agrees that he's just so insanely fast. But yeah, I was able to trick there, and I think that that worked pretty well. And I was even able to go onto that. Didn't get the water, but honestly, Advanced Sonic, he doesn't even really need it that much. I mean, he's already fast. I even forget how fast he goes when he's using the water and rolling down it, but it's going to be crazy. Yeah, here we are. First one, and I think that is already the fastest run we have so far, possibly. But we're going to see at the end. But let's go into round 2 of Advanced Sonic. And yeah, he's just kind of, you know, zooming along, jumping off that nice slope there. Ooh, very nice air dash there. And I think that the thing that I was focusing on here was just make sure to always jump on slopes, like vertical slopes. I hope to bounce off of them there. It didn't really work, but I think it's okay though, because I went faster anyway. And I wasn't actually expecting to go up there, but that's pretty cool. I was actually able to run up that time. Barely was falling off there. So yeah, that was not great. But I was able to save it with a spin dash. Always love to see a good spin dash. I'm going to do the humming top forward air. Thank you for the guys in the comments who were telling me what that's called. I just called it as forward air before, like it's Smash Bros. But apparently it's called humming top. Insane speed. Oh man, ruined by the tree stump though. But Mach speed's still going. Still going. And I even went Sonic Forces mode and used the booster. And I overshot it. And I overshot it again. But then I hit it. And still. Advanced Sonic. He's just insane. But let's go into the final run. And let's just see what chaos awaits. What perfect chaos. Sonic Adventure reference. But yeah, going here. And I don't think I've jumped on the bridge before. That definitely feels like it'd be the fastest kind of thing. I didn't even air dash there. Dang. Alright, yeah, so going behind here this time. I didn't get the top route, but I was able to go here and use my up air. I don't know what that calls. Y'all are going to have to tell me what that is too, because I don't know what that is either. But yeah, we go here, use humming top again. And it looks so cool. I love the humming top so much. They really should bring that back. Oh yeah, also, I hit spin in midair and it did that really cool like 360 barrel roll stuff. It's awesome. Didn't hit anything there. Going insanely fast. And it looks like I'm even going to make it sub 1 minute. And I made it sub 1 minute. So there we go. There are all the races. And yeah, let's just go into the final portion now where everyone's racing each other. Okay, so we have all of the Sonics here and they're racing against each other. All of them are pretty even at this point. I feel like OVA, or no, I was going to say OVA is in the lead, but Advance is definitely in the lead. CD and Modern going to get those boxes. Boom is still at the ramp. OVA having that nice super spin jump. Advance is already to that part, that the top kind of part. Dang, there's so much to keep track of here. CD using that future boost. Advance going up the waterfall. Boom's kind of not exactly getting up on a platform, but Modern is getting on a higher platform. Advance is already in the final section of the level. OVA going on that last high section, or at least near it. Advance is already in the tree. Losing a bit of speed there, but going Sonic Forces styles on the springs. And Advance is our first placer. And it looks like it might be Junio who's second. I think it, or no, never mind. It's actually going to be OVA, I think. I think OVA is going to be second. And he doesn't go Sonic Forces mode. He makes it right into the finish. Right behind him goes Junio. Modern Sonic goes right behind as well. And it's just between CD and Bandages for the end. And it's pretty evident that it's going to be CD. Uses a future there. CD is 5th place. And we got Boom Sonic. Trying to spam dash up. Going Sonic Forces style. Using the booster. And unfortunately, Boom got 6th place. But that wraps it up. And yeah, that is all of these 6 Sonics racing against each other. So, Advanced Sonic is our winner. I cannot say I'm surprised though. Advance is pretty OP. I mean, his Mach speed, his trick system, and just given that Advance can fly over pretty much everything, it was kind of expected that he would win. But let me know who you guys thought was going to win in the comments, as we add another crown to Advance's collection. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please be sure to let me know what characters and levels you would like to see me speedrun in the future, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.